Whoa, look at that.
Here we are,
Look at that. We are
post
back.
post Thanksgiving.
Yeah. What did you eat?
I spatchcocked the turkey this year, which for those of you who don't know what that means is you cut the spine off and
Ooh,
you flatten it out. And
that
it
sounds,
cooked in an
sounds
hour
like
and
fun.
30 minutes.
Wow.
Done. It's
That's,
crispy outside, wonderful. And I made my world famous stuffing muffins.
let me ask you, what was the name of your turkey?
Hmm? Yum. It wasn't named Lucky, I tell you that one.
Or smart. He was wasn't smart or lucky.
So I made the stuffing muffin so everybody gets their own little stuffing ball. It's crunchy outside. It's soft on the inside. Nobody has to fight for the crispy edges.
Welcome to Focus on You with Phil and Oscar. Of course, we're talking about food
Of
because
course,
we want to make each other hungry. So we're doing a competition today. Who can make who more hungry?
I
Uh,
got a full cup of tea, so not hungry at all.
talk about tea. I'm doing something called mushroom coffee.
Yes,
And dude, this thing
yes.
is bad to the bone. I am like, it is just
Mushrooms
amazing.
very medicinal, and some are even magical. But the ones you're taking are medicinal mushrooms.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. It's called the name of the company is called Rizzy,
Yep.
and I tried it. I was trying it, and I'm liking it because it doesn't give you that. Sometimes you drink some coffee and you get
You
that
get the
aftertaste.
jitters.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want to go hurt the cat? Yeah.
yeah. Exactly right. It's just like or you're shaking and you go through this hyper stage, and then you find yourself knocked out on the couch because you
Then
know
you crash. Yeah.
and then the high is gone. So yeah, this thing is very even keel. Other than for the cold weather, which my bones are kind of feeling it. I know, I know that whoever is going to be watching this can relate. If you live in Jersey or New York, or
If you're up in Buffalo and you got 40 inches of snow dumped on you yesterday,
yeah, and the temperature is 22 degrees or 17 degrees or something crazy like that, just put your meat outside, turn off your fridge, save some electricity
yep.
because you really don't need your refrigerator in temperatures like that, right?
You got a backdoor refrigerator. It's just one big cold. Oh,
Let's talk about dating because we have, the dating expert on today, Whitney Kobrin. And
I hope she has her love glasses with her.
I know. Listen, man, all I'm gonna ask her is, how do you date somebody in 17-degree weather? Mm, that's easy.
A
Very
lot, a lot,
profound question.
a lot of chapstick. Otherwise, you like the Christmas movie. It's so good.
Practice kissing on a pole. It's 17-degree weather. Dumb and Dumber did it. Why can't you? Oh man, this is going to be a great program today because we have one of the best dating experts on the planet. Her name is Whitney Kobrin, and she's been with us since what?
Forever.
Forever, long, long, long time. So we always get something from listening to her, talking to her, and so we are going to have her jump on right now because I'm just done looking at Oscar, man.
Yeah, that's
I am totally fed up. That's it. I'm jealous of your beard. That's what it is. I'm jealous of your beard. So here comes none other than Whitney Cooperin.
there she is,
Hey,
love coach.
Whitney,
I
go.
knew she'd have her love glasses on.
Love is in the air.
Love is in the air. Oh, you know what? You should do a theme song lined up with the Love Boat. I think it would be a great marketing tool to see you dancing to the Love Boat.
Especially when they try to sue you and then it goes viral. That's a great idea.
I don't think anyone under 45 is going to catch that reference. So.
You know what, Oscar? You just broke my bubble, man. Welcome back to Focus on You.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's good to have you. Always, always, always. Whitney,
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Whitney Kobrin. I'm a dating and relationship expert and coach. And I work with women who are single, divorced, or widowed and are frustrated with dating or are not dating because of worries or fears. And I just give them the practical tools and advice that they need, as well as support them through breaking through any challenges and barriers that come up along the way.
Oh, nice. That is excellent, man. What are some of the barriers that come up along the way? Like,
Oh,
you just talked about barriers. So, I haven't dated in 8 years and some change. So I think I'm a little disconnected.
You did
yeah.
add 30 years to that, and that's me. I haven't dated in 38 years.
Well, that's
So
that's a good thing. Congratulations. You've been able to make
I
your
would,
relationship
I
last.
wouldn't know where to start
The
now.
last date he took his wife on before they got married, after they got married,
It was
was
listen. I told
drive-in
Lincoln
theater.
to duck.
It
Okay,
was
I
a
told him.
drive-in theater in White Plains.
I said, Abe, duck, and he didn't listen to me. That's the last time.
I'm sorry. So yeah, what are some of these barriers that you're talking about?
Well, everyone has an old pattern. There's actually 13 different damaging dating patterns that I work with. So for some people, it might be that they aim really high and find someone that's really great on paper but doesn't treat them well, and they fall into this pattern of accepting crumbs and not getting the full package and being treated like the treasure that they deserve to be treated as. For others, it's that they're too picky and they need to get some help to identify where can you be flexible, right? Because no one wants to settle and feel like they're settling for less than they deserve. But at the same time, some people think that settling means, just the littlest thing um, that they're being too picky about
Hmm.
can be getting in the way of them having a relationship. I mean, I even go as deep as some people have beliefs and traumas from their childhood that they're still carrying with them that are getting in the way. And these are tricky because you can't recognize it in yourself usually. And people don't even know why they're struggling. They just assume that it's because online dating sucks and there's no good people out there and there's no good men left. And they are believing these excuses and these reasons when actually there's something going on within them that's pulling them back, getting in the way. I mean, we've all been hurt before, right? We're all human. We've all been hurt. And because we're intelligent and smart, we learn not to get hurt again. So we build up these walls, we protect ourselves, and it's just so counterproductive to finding love, to be
Yeah,
guarded and walled off and protected.
that's a natural state of our brain, of our mind, is to protect ourselves from danger. So before it was, tigers and wild animals. Now it's like, I don't want to be rejected. I don't want, whatever is going on in the pre-date head space.
Yep. Yep.
Do you
Exactly.
do you think? I mean, nowadays it's a whole lot more complicated. I think to date because you have so many variety of things going on when it comes to like you know understanding the dynamics of it. Like, so what is the starting point? Like for the person that's watching and it's totally a complex minefield, right? Um, what are some of the things what are like the first thing you would be advising
Yeah,
them?
like a recently divorced, a recently, like I haven't dated in 20 years. Where do I start? Do I go to the bar and the old pickup lines, or online, or what? What is the good
Maybe
and
your
bad of
eyes
either
are
one?
so blue, it makes me want to fly.
So that's a good question. And I think a lot of people would assume the first step is to put yourself out there. Either start going out and meeting people or go online and that's your first step. But I warn people not to have that be your very first step, because the first step needs to be your relationship with yourself. And what I've learned is very few people are really starting out dating fully accepting themselves. They have things about themselves that they want to hide, that they're not happy with, that they never want to open up about with anyone, and other things that are causing insecurities. And if you go into dating looking for somebody to make you feel good about yourself, that is a recipe for disaster, because there's lots of people that will, use that to their own advantage and manipulate. And, there's just a lot that can go wrong when you do that. So the first step in dating is really your relationship with yourself, making sure that you have self-love, that you practice self-care, and that you have self-compassion. That's the biggest thing that is the underlying piece of love, is compassion. Being able to be kind and empathetic and understanding and patient. And it starts with having that for ourselves and then being able to extend it to others. So that's the first step, is checking your relationship with yourself.
Yeah, that's funny because I've you guys know I've been doing a lot of renovation work on the house, and built stuff in the backyard, painting and everything. And I get to the point where I'm looking at it, I said, it's not perfect, but neither am I. So it's good enough. I don't have to be perfect. I'm not a skilled mason. So yeah, it's gonna come off a little tilted, but you know what? This is the best I can do right now, and it's fine. I accept it. I don't go looking in the little corner for that piece of paint that is out of place, and then just completely, losing my mind over it because no one's gonna see it but me.
Well, but I think, just talking about your situation there, I think your wife really appreciates even just your effort, man. You really put a whole lot into what you do, and that's a question I'm going to throw to Whitney. Like when your spouse or your boyfriend or something, when you see him kind of like making effort like that to put something together in the home, or what effect does that have on the female mind?
Oh, we love that, of course. I mean, relationships are always two ways. They're give and take. Relationships are not 50-50. As two people that have been married for a long time, not to each other, but both of you have been married a
Mm.
long time, that it's not always 50-50. That sometimes you need to do a little more of what you do well, and sometimes they have to do more of what they do well. And the best thing we can do is be grateful for what the other person is doing, speak up about what we need, right? One of the biggest things that I hear from people in relationships is, well, he should just know. Like, really? He should be a mind reader, and he should just, like,
I
the
know
more
you're thinking.
clear we can be about what we need, what we want, what we expect, like, the more likely we are to get it and just be happy, instead of hoping and praying and wishing that they're going to figure it out on their own and then being disappointed that they don't.
Here's the headline, Whitney, and you know it. We don't take suggestions well. There's no nuance. Like I was dropping hints right over that. No, just tell me what has to be done. Don't hint about it for. And I tell my wife, you can tell me how to do it, and then I'll do it, and don't remind me like every 6 months that I haven't done it yet.
Yep.
It'll get done eventually.
Yeah. And I tell women, if you're setting a boundary, if it's a firm thing that you have to have this partner do this thing for you, then there should be a consequence if they don't. Because then, if there's no consequence, if she says, for example, I really need you to do this, and you don't do it, and then she asks you again, and then she asks you again, and then she asks you again, it's just nagging. And no one wins with that. So if she says, I need you to do this, and if you don't do it, then this is going to happen, it just works better. At least it can be a conversation. If it's not something you can do, you tell them. But that whole pattern of requesting and then not having something done and getting into nagging, it can really tear apart a relationship.
Why is it that sometimes women do that? Like, what would be the root cause, in your opinion, that is agitating, like, perfection,
Besides that, men don't
strongest
respect.
desire for that?
So I think it makes sense that women will ask something of their partners. I think anyone that's human will ask something of your partner, right? I need you to
Hmm.
do this. I need you to do that. And statistically, traditionally, women are usually in charge of more of the daily tasks, like
Hmm.
getting the dishes done or the kitchen, cooking, things like that. Not all the time, and it doesn't have to be that way. But statistically and traditionally, women do more of those kind of daily activities, whereas the men do more of the projects and things that might take longer. And so women are like always working, always doing their thing. And so when they see their partner, like, I need you to do this and you didn't do it yet, and they get all upset. But really, everyone's, as long as everyone's contributing what they can, then you just have to have realistic expectations of what you can expect someone to do, and then have agreed upon, um, I guess, tasks. And one of the things that can help keep a marriage strong is to have a weekly meeting where you talk about all the logistical things,
Hmm.
so that you have a time set aside so you could say, how you doing on that project? How are we doing here? What am I doing that is annoying you? What am I doing that's making you happy? Like, let's plan our week. Are you going to be home at this time? Do you need to pick up the kids at this time? Because that kind of logistical conversation is not sexy. And if you constantly, every day, every other day, you're bringing up these logistical things, like, let's say my partner's leaning in for a kiss, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot to ask you, can you pick up the kids tomorrow? It's just a,
That
chemistry
combination.
polarity killer. So if we set aside a time for those things, and then we get all of that taken care of and talked about and organized and all that, then we can uh, spend our day-to-day interactions in a more positive, loving, sexy way.
You've talked about male energy and female energy, and it's not gender specific. It's an energy. Could you elaborate on that for people that haven't heard that yet?
Yeah, sure. So we're all whole people. So we all have both sides to us. The masculine energy side, which is more of like in the yin and yang, it's more like the yang or yang energy that is about pushing things forward,
Push and pull.
being, hmm?
To
Push and pull.
push me, pull me. Isn't that a
Yeah, it's like pushing things forward, making things happen, having goals, being structured, and being focused, being on a mission. It's more thought oriented, more in your head. Um, and then the feminine energy, or the yin energy, is more relaxed, it's more responsive to whatever's happening in the environment, it's open. And so, one way that I can kind of depict this is, imagine that a guy and a girl are going on a first date, and you're walking from outside into the restaurant. Well, typically, the person who's more in the masculine role in the relationship will open the door for the other person. They're on a mission. They're like, I got to open the door. I got to open this door. I got to let them in. Okay, where's our table? All right, I'm going to follow, like, beeline to the table, pull the chair out. All right. The feminine partner in that scenario is not like, oh my gosh, I'm on a mission. I have to get to the table. I have to open the door. She's just, wow, look at this. It's so pretty in here. Oh, this is so love. Oh, thank you. And you're able to be more present in your senses. Like, the guy walking in on a mission is probably not going to notice how good the restaurant smells. Someone that's in their feminine, who's kind of following the lead and just showing up there, they're able to take everything in and notice what they smell and what they see, and maybe what they're feeling, what they touch. So that's just an example. It can be kind of hard to explain, because people that have never heard about this often have misconceptions of what masculine and feminine energies are. They often misinterpret it as traditional gender roles, which it's not. It's really about finding your own authentic self and authentic power, because many of us have masked our natural masculine or feminine energy because we've come to learn that we think that femininity is weak, so we don't act feminine, or that masculinity is toxic, so that we don't act masculine.
I can see, like, two masculine energy people getting to the restaurant and fighting for who's going to open the door, and the two feminine energy is going to stand there waiting for the other one to open the door. So you need that give and take to get anything to work.
Yeah, it really does create more chemistry and more spark. I mean, if you think about friendships or co-working relationships, you don't emphasize the masculine and feminine. And that's on purpose, because you don't need that dynamic. You're just coworkers or you're just friends. But when it comes to dating, we want to emphasize that masculine feminine difference, because just like in a battery, if there's a positive and a negative charge, it creates electricity.
Yeah, and I think there is that the masculine and feminine energy within coworkers also, because there'll be coworkers that take charge and coworkers that'll just wait. So even that, it doesn't have to be dating. I think people should pay attention to masculine and feminine energy around them. Would be surprised that, okay, I can see it now.
I think that's a great point. That is an excellent point, Oscar, because sometimes we don't know how to depict that, which leads me to this page on your website, Whitney, about your services that you offer, dating done right. And I'm going through it, and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. But tell us a little bit about each of these things here, like searching for a serious relationship, but getting nowhere, right?
Yes.
And
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
I've been doing this for about 6 years now, working as a matchmaker and then working as a coach. And so I've been fine tuning this course for years, and it incorporates all of my past experiences, because I struggled like heck in relationships. And it also incorporates, I've read so many books, and we live in this day and age now that is the information age. And there's so much information out there, but people don't have time to read every relationship book and watch all the videos. And so what I've done is really synthesize. Like, I've gotten all the information. I've learned about, the love languages and attachment styles and personality patterns and masculine feminine polarity and all of these things, and I give people just enough information to help them figure it out, and then also guided practices to help them actually embody these new concepts. And so that's what this coaching program is. It's a 12-week program that starts with your relationship with yourself, and then goes through learning how to be powerful and authentic in your natural essence. And then we release the unwanted past. So whatever you're still holding on to from past relationships or old beliefs or your childhood, we very carefully and intentionally work through those things, process them, and reframe them so that you can come out the other side. And then I teach the right dating skills. All of those, practical and technical skills of how to communicate with people and how to meet people, whether that's online or in person, how to communicate well to get what you want. And then the fifth step, so that's my 5-step process. The fifth step is about community. So I also bring together the people that I coach into a community so that they have the support and camaraderie to help them through this journey.
Wow, that is amazing. I think we all need some sort of guidance when going through these obstacles. Don't you think so, Oscar?
Yeah, isn't that a quote from the Bible? Whoever teaches himself has a fool for a mentor, or something like that. So
I love it. I love it. Let's check out some of these about us, or the resources. Resources. Let's look at the resources.
How about the app?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the app, Whitney.
Sure. So I have an app that has video courses on it so that when I have a new client, they can start right away and start learning and practicing within the app even before we're meeting. And then we meet weekly to check in, provide accountability, and also to guide them through the experiences. The app also makes it easy to track your progress. So there's actually a daily tracker in there that people can keep track with. And then I have access to that. So again, with the accountability of your coach, I know how you're doing and what you're doing. And the community is also housed in the app. The app is called Love Coach in My Pocket. If you search my name, Whitney Kobrin, in your app store, you'll find it. You can download the app. It's free to download. There are some courses in there that you can do for free. And then there is an option to step up to a membership so that you can get access to all the courses.
Nice. Wow.
Get
Uh,
your toes wet in the dating world again.
See, now but that's how much dating has changed, Oscar. We can download it to our phone and just kind of like do some homework. I wish you were around back in our day. Well, in mine, as
Me
Oscar's
too.
uncle. Oscar's uncle is Santa Claus.
I wish I had me when I was 18. I would have saved a lot of heartache for
Oh,
sure.
geez, that's the high school even. Just like it was just such turmoil on the brain. But let's talk about. We only have a few minutes left. Let's talk about how people can reach you and what are some of the processes you have to kind of get them integrated into the system you have.
Yeah, so the best way to reach me is just to go to my website, whitneykobrin.com, and you can schedule a dating in a digital world strategy call. And that will be a one on one call with me where we'll look at creating a strategy for you so that whether you decide to join the group or get coaching or not, at least you have a strategy so that you know how to go forward. And some people just take that and they do it on their own. Others decide that they want to work with me and I guide them through it. And then others are somewhere in between and often will come back to me and say, I tried it on my own, it wasn't working. Let's give this a try now.
Awesome, 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 awesome. What my final question, and then Oscar can ask his final question, but my final question is what is some advice you can give? Let's say we just talked about it, like a person that is just starting to date, let's say they're in their teens and they're trying to figure this thing out. What would be your strongest advice to them?
So, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is putting too much pressure on it, putting too much pressure on the end result. It's like, okay, I finally feel healed. I finally want to go out and date. And the first date they go on doesn't go well, and they're disappointed. And it's like, well, why would you possibly expect that the very first date you go on is going to be the one and only? So,
Mm,
we need to take some of the emotion out of it, which is tricky because dating is emotional and relationships and love is emotional. But we need to take a little bit of the emotionality out of it. And instead of making your goal, I'm going to find my person like right now, recognize that it's a process. And with every date, what I recommend your goal should be is not to make that your person, because what that leads to is often uh, pretending to be something you're not to try to get them to like you, or asking them a ton of questions so it feels like an interview and it's not very compassionate and heartfelt. So instead of that whole pressure scenario of like every date, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? Approach every date with this goal. Make your goal to be your most authentic self. So practice being your most authentic self, speaking up about how you feel, what you need, and then try to have as much fun as possible. And so that's one way that dating can be so much more enjoyable when you know that it's a process, when you know you have to meet a lot of people to find your right person. And it allows people to just take a step back from the pressure and the emotion of it and just enjoy the process until the right person rises to the top.
nice, Oscar.
Oh, as you're talking, I'm laughing to myself because one of my favorite cousins, somebody put her information on a dating app or whatever, and the stories that she comes back with belong in a book. It is the funniest, she's and that's a person that I wasn't ready to start dating, and they forced me, and it's like it's it is a circus of crazy people that she's meeting, but it's very very enjoyable to hear the stories. Um, so if someone is like you said, they've done the grieving, they've done everything, fine, I'm ready to date, but I don't think I'm ready to date. What is that? What brings you to that line and then past the I don't think I'm ready yet?
Well, one, I would say schedule a call with me. I'll help you
That
figure
was
out
the answer I
where
was
you're at.
waiting
Very
for.
important. Very important.
But we don't have to be 100% healed to go out and date. I don't think anyone's ever going to become 100% healed. We need to know what our triggers are and know what our pain points are and know what we want. But we don't have to be perfect, and we don't have to be perfectly healed and perfectly ready. Sometimes if you wait till the perfect moment, that perfect moment might never come. And there is a certain amount of growth and development that we need to do personally within ourselves. But there is a whole other level of growth and development that happens in relationship that you might never experience if you don't try to date or have relationships. We learn a lot from those experiences, especially when we take it slow. Like one of the other 13 damaging dating patterns is the flame out. When everything's really awesome at first and hot and heavy and you're so excited and you want to see each other all the time, and then all of a sudden it just like fizzles out.
They're calling again?
Yeah, we need to go.
You're too clingy.
I think for the most part that happens when it starts fizzling out is because flaws start to show. You start seeing something and it's like, wait, I'm not sure if I like that, and because people start getting relaxed and, being themselves.
Yeah.
And that's normally the the caveat for some people. Like,
And
Oh,
oh,
you
he reminds me of my old boyfriend. I'm out.
you don't want to fall in love with a person right away because you really don't know that person that well. It takes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months to get to know someone at least. And so if you're on date number 2 and you're already like, this is my person, this person's amazing, they're perfect, you're falling in love with the version of them that you're inventing. You're falling in love with the idea of that person. And so often we need to just take it slow, go slowly, and keep dating until you find someone that you are fully into and compatible with and share similar values and all of that. So it's a process. It's not, your ideal person's not just gonna stroll into your apartment when you're Netflix and chilling by yourself. Like it's just doesn't work that way anymore. And so most people need to date a bit to find their person.
You
And
mean I
hopefully
can't be
they
at
can enjoy the
home and
process.
they just kind of fall through the roof? I figured that's the best way to
Like
meet.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, if you see somebody coming through your window or your chimney,
Yeah, like I said, growing up in the Bronx, that's a fatal mistake. It's not happening.
chances are he's not bringing anything to you.
Yeah, watch
You can
out.
come in, you just can't get back out. That's
Whitney, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and just how much experience you have in this field is amazing. I'm sure you're going to help somebody with this video. So thank you so much for coming on Focus on You again. It's always a pleasure. You're always welcome on our show. Oscar, man, thank you. Any
Thank you,
last
guys.
words?
Yeah, make sure you spell Whitney Kobrin's name correctly. Whitney, spell it out for people that are in the podcast and can't see your name spelled.
Yes, it's Whitney. Kobrin is Kobrin. Kobrin.
All right. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody.